Disclaimer: the insights and opinions shared on this show are for educational and entertainment purposes only. Before making any financial decisions, we recommend consulting with a qualified professional to better understand your unique financial situation. Welcome to the Investors Playbook Show, where our mission is clear: empowerment through financial education. We firmly believe that financial freedom isn't a privilege, it's a right that's available to everybody. Each week, we dive deep into the world of finances, breaking down complex topics and making them accessible and actionable for everyone. As we grow this community, we invite you to join us on this journey. Why tune in? Because together, we're not just learning about wealth, we're building a movement, reshaping futures, and proving that with the right knowledge, financial success is within everyone's reach. It's time to get off the sidelines. Let's go. Yo, welcome back to another episode of Investors Playbook. You have always your co-hosts Deshaun and Cornell. Cornell, how you feeling, man? What's going on?
I'm feeling good, man. Had my first in-person doctorate class. I had to drive to Athens. And driving back in the middle of traffic is not the move, bro. And it's like people getting accidents in the most inconvenient spots. Have you noticed that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like
It'll
it's
be
all what's up?
like all the way in the. It's like always in the fast lane, like all the way to the left, or like right in the middle, where people just have to figure out a way to get around. I'm like, I don't know.
Or it's at an intersection. The way you
Oh
can't
yeah,
even
yeah. I thought you meant highway accidents, but yes, intersection accidents. I mean, that's when you will more than likely get into an accident. People do not be paying attention, man.
right.
Either on their phone, thinking they got the light, or they don't got the light. So then someone behind them hits. Bro, I've seen crazy stuff, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
How about yourself?
it was good. This past week was great in regards to work. I got a lot done. And this weekend, I was just able to like relax and work on business stuff, right? Get some things for the house, the condo situated. That's looking good. And then, of course, I'm continuing to study for that cybersecurity test, right?
That's what's up.
So yeah, I also started learning Python, bro. I don't know if you know, that programming language.
Yeah, I mean, I know of it, but I
Yeah,
don't. Of course, I'm not experienced it or anything.
yeah. I was like, let me pick this up real quick because I'm noticing that a lot more people are starting to want cybersecurity engineers that also know how to code a little bit. So I was like, let me give this a try. It's actually fun. So
That's what's up.
yeah.
Where do you see that? Where do you see that taking you?
I see that taking me into positions that rely on my compliance experience with cybersecurity, but then also need a cybersecurity engineer who can understand and read Python when it comes to application software or even know how to build it. Right? They're looking for people now to have dual hats. So just progressive when it comes to like the 9 to 5 grind, but then
Yeah,
also possibly, I don't know. I'll see what I can potentially do or how much I learn in regards to the other ways you can use Python for like, web design or anything like that. Um, I know that that's like getting into the nitty gritty of it, and they have websites that are easily, drag and drop to build websites, but I don't know. Maybe even Investors Playbook app. You know what I mean? On the cell phone. Maybe I'll build something like that. You feel me?
that would be dope.
So
For sure, for sure.
yeah. But nah, it's been a positive week, positive weekend. And then of course we got that big news on what was that, Wednesday? About
Last week sometime.
last week, which is what this episode is gonna be all about, man. So last week the Feds finally cut interest rates. They've been talking about cutting interest rates since like November of last year. They said we're going to cut interest rates in 2024. We thought it was going to be April. We thought it was going to be May. They kept pushing it. And finally, they cut interest rates by half a point. So, for a lot of people who don't really know what all that even means, right? I think we should first talk about what it means when Feds cut interest rates and what interest rates even are. Like what interest rate are they cutting? Are they cutting mortgage interest rate? Are they cutting the interest rate on cars? Um, what does it mean when the Fed say we're cutting interest rates by half a point, right? Let's talk about that first. So, do you want to introduce it or you want me to?
Yeah, you got it, bro.
All right. All right. So basically, when the Fed cuts interest rates, they have this Fed funds target rate that they are focusing on, right? The Fed funds target rate, it pretty much defines the amount that it's going to cost banks to lend other banks. So if the Fed funds target rate is high, it's going to cost banks more money to lend money and borrow money from other banks. I shouldn't say lend, but it costs more money for banks to borrow and send money to one another. Um, and this just has a trickling effect because if it makes it more expensive for banks, then those same banks have to pass on those expenses to customers. So if it costs banks a lot of money, 8% to lend money, they are going to charge their customers also around that, 5, 6, 7, 8%. That's why you're seeing, that's why lately you've been seeing these high interest rates in regards to, getting a car, getting a loan, getting a home, right? Compared to the things we were seeing in 2020 and 2021 when the Fed fund target rate was like less than 2%. Um,
And of course, this discourages people
mhm,
from borrowing money because, of course, when the interest rate is up, it's inflating the payment that you have. So, buying a home, buying a $300,000 home with a 4% interest rate is way different than buying a $300,000 home with a 8%
mhm,
interest rate. So this rate cut is good because it encourages people to get loans, to buy homes, to buy cars, like to just stimulate the economy. So, with that, there's an increase in
right.
consumer
Definitely.
spending.
Yeah. Consumer spending, customer spending. And that is one of the benefits of, or at least that's one of the benefits of the Fed rate cut is it incentivizes people to, or it allows people to borrow money at a cheaper rate. Like Cornell just mentioned, getting a house in 2020, 2021, even if your house was six, $700,000, you're probably paying a lower mortgage because you had a lower interest rate than someone who bought a $400,000 house this year with an interest rate of like 6%, maybe even 7%. It's all about how much they are getting the interest rate on the loan, regardless. I mean, not regardless, but including the actual price of the home. If their interest rate is like twice the amount of yours, then they're going to see a bigger increase in their monthly cost when it comes to their mortgages. But what the Fed is doing now is, actually last week was actually cut interest rates, which is something they haven't done in what, 4 years?
Yeah.
Since,
First
yeah,
time in 4 years.
the first time in 4 years. So since 2020, it was at one of its lowest, and it's just been increasing from 2020 all the way up until September 18th, I think last week is when they finally cut interest rates by half a point. So right now, the Fed rate is between 4.75 and 5%. That's what they're saying that the number is.
So while there's a lot of positives to cutting the interest rates, you know, there are also some vehicles like savings accounts, CDs of the sort that also get lowered when it comes to interest rate. So because this happens, it becomes less enticing for people to put their money in savings accounts and CDs. So now people are looking for other vehicles like the stock market, like real estate investment to get more bang for their buck.
Definitely.
So what's up?
No, I just said definitely. I agree with you.
So because of this, it's a good opportunity because it boosts the stock market. Because with more people investing in stocks, it grows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
make sure you take advantage.
Definitely. And that's one of the things that we want to preach for sure, right? We want to make sure that people are aware of what it even means for you being a consumer, being an investor, being an entrepreneur when it comes to them cutting interest rates, what you can take advantage of and how you can navigate this space, right? And I think personally, I don't think it's going to be the last interest rate cut. I think it's going to, this is probably like the start of something that could continue to go. But yeah, I think what we're going to start seeing is it being cheaper to
to borrow money, it being cheaper for businesses to borrow money and consumers to borrow money, and like Cornell mentioned, increase that desire to invest because you do have more access to capital. Um,
So I
some,
actually have a question.
yeah,
I
what's
have a
up?
question. So I know that you just recently bought uh, a house and an investment property.
Hmm.
So with this, do you plan on refinancing your home because the interest rates are lower, or do you
Hmm.
plan on keeping the same loan for a while, waiting for an opportune time?
I think that I will definitely refinance my home. It won't be immediately though, because of the costs that happen with refinancing, right? The additional costs that come with it. I want to do it at a opportune time, basically. Like I want to make sure that I am refinancing at a point that can significantly help when it comes to my mortgage payments, right? I don't want to do something and like catch the beginning of what could be, more decrease.
Mhm.
I already have the home now. I know for a lot of people, the question is, do you buy a home now that interest rates have been cut? Because similar to what happened in 2020 and 2021, we had really low interest rates, but that's when people were like clawing to get a home. You know what I mean? Like they were fighting tooth and nail, and home prices were going on the market for 500 and selling for 650.
So I actually have a question about that. Like, why did that time prompt all that buying? Because interest rates been low for a long time. You see what I'm saying? I bought my house in 2016 and I feel like my interest rate was like it was like 4 point something, or maybe even a high threes. I don't remember, but it was very low.
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So yeah, so what prompted it in 2020 for everyone to just buy homes crazy like that and have I feel like our house our housing value grew over 100% over like a span of 4 years.
Yeah, I feel like it just has a lot to do with the setting, which was COVID. That that was a new environment. People really didn't know how to
Mhm.
navigate it. And then also, I feel like a lot of people were becoming more interested in investing, like more millennials like us. We're getting
And
more interested in
yeah.
investing and understanding the importance of it. So it's like, oh shoot, I need to get a house. I need to get like everyone was just saying, I need to get a house now. Um, and the people who had homes were able to, it was a seller's market. They could do whatever they wanted. Like, yeah, we're gonna put it on the market for 400, but we know we probably gonna sell it for like 7 or 550 or 575. And yeah, I just feel like there wasn't an urgency when you bought your house in 2016, 2017, because people didn't know what was happening in 2020. People were like, oh, this is the end of the world. We're all gonna like I need to make sure that, I'm safe, my family's safe, or that I need to start taking this investing thing seriously. And I think that's really what prompted it, bro. Like that drastic change in just the way people lived their life everywhere,
And
like worldwide. You
yeah,
feel me?
yeah, and there was a huge influx of money during that time. I know not just the stimulus checks. I know the stimulus checks weren't much, but there's a lot of unemployment going on, and also people with part-time unemployment. So you had people with full-time jobs,
Mhm.
also receiving assistance through unemployment. So and then you had the PPP scam going on. Like there was
Yeah.
a lot going on. There's a lot of money being thrown during that COVID era, and I feel like that could possibly have had an effect on people's ability to buy assets also.
Yeah. More access to money. And then like even though you said like your interest rate was at a 4 or a high 3 in 2020, 2021, that joint was even lower. It was like 2% for some people,
Mhm.
right? And even those 2 points could be drastic, not like huge, but it can make a change.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
for sure.
Like getting an interest rate at like 2.1 compared to someone getting an interest rate at 3.8, bro, that's hundreds of dollars, you feel me? A month.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think all those factors are what played into um the huge influx of people purchasing homes and it really turning into a seller's market. So that's the question now, right? Like now that interest rates are starting to go lower, will that happen all over again? Is it going to turn into a seller's market? Are people going to be able to sell their home for 100,000 over asking, just like, you know, 2020 and 2021? But only time will tell with that. We don't know.
Yeah, and the thing is, either no matter what happens, we got to be prepared. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's a good time to be a home owner because, as you said, like we with these interest rates going down, this could really raise demand for assets like homes. And with that, if you already own a home, that means the value of your home is going up. While this can increase your property taxes and also even your home insurance, you still have that equity that you're able to utilize. So I wouldn't be that person that takes the equity out and goes and buys a nice expensive car, because people do these things, man. Because like when you have the equity, you can literally use it for whatever you want.
Yeah.
So
Like
so
there is no rules to it. You got to be responsible.
yeah, there's no
So,
rules to it. You can really ruin your life dealing with this equity. So
uh,
my thing is what the way I would use equity and the way I have used equity is I borrow the money from my home and I would put it into an asset that's creating more money than what I'm spending
mhm.
in interest on my home. So
Right.
this could be the stock market. This could be another home. This could be your business if it's profitable. So just be mindful of the resources that you have within your home, and act
Yeah.
accordingly.
It's all about those assets, man. If it's not making you money, it's costing you money. You know what I mean? That's that's one way to look at it. I mean, I don't know. Do you have things or expenses that just are neutral? Not expenses, but do you have items that you own that are neutral?
That break
That's neither
even.
making you money or spending you money or costing you money.
I don't think that's the case for me. I feel like that's a very rare condition for something to be making you exactly how much it's
No, no, no,
it's
not
costing.
well. Just more like this item is either making me money or it's costing me money. That's what I'm not like the item itself, the amount of money it's making plus the amount of money I'm spending on it equals to zero.
That's the only way it could work.
But like I'm saying, do you have any items that just don't cost you any money or you aren't spending any monthly, like any additional money? Like, do you have
I,
something that's not an asset or a liability?
I,
That
I feel like it's the same thing if you're paying $20 a month for something and it's making you $20 a month. It's costing you nothing and you're spending nothing on it. You get what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel like I could have anything that's just completely free.
You
And
spend money on something, yeah.
yeah,
Nah,
especially yeah. So that's just
yeah, yeah, that's real. But yeah, man, I think that what we mainly want to do is just explain to people that they got to pay attention. As always, what we always talk about is just like paying attention to it, right? Like making sure that you understand what it means for you, what you can do to take advantage of the fact that Fed rates have been cut and could potentially continue to be cut moving forward.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So hey, get in these assets and stop buying these expensive cars. Like I just the other day, I saw a teacher driving like and, teachers are making more money now. Like I understand. But man, like stop driving these cars that cost the same as your annual salary. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. Like seeing a teacher driving like a 80, and nothing against teachers, I'm in education also.
Hmm.
But driving an $80,000 car is I feel like it's insane.
Yeah, I would not. I don't. I can't see myself even now, right? Like regardless of what my salary is, having a car note that's over a stack just it's hard for me to fathom. You feel me? And even more so, like if you're someone who decides to do that and it's not even like within your means, you just want it because it makes you feel good, which I understand the importance of like
Feeling good.
self care. You know what I mean? Like we human, We're not robots. We have to make sure that we have a positive feeling most times, because that stuff can get, you know. But you gotta realize that, like, those short injections of happiness don't always end up keeping you happy. That can be stressful. You feel me? Like, you get real happy, you got your car, you riding around 2 months later, you like, why did I buy this car? This is expensive, and now you can't get rid of it. You
And
feel me?
yeah, right, because the thing about a car, as soon as you buy it, it's
Yeah,
worth less. So you can't just
yeah,
sell it back because now you're down thousands of dollars, especially if you got an $80,000 car. You probably down at least 10,000 just from
yep,
driving off the lot. So man, people got to be careful with that. Like,
yeah.
but but I saw like basically it was a teacher in a Corvette. Just like
See,
I'm talking about
I
brand
will say
new
that if that teacher has other ways of making money and it's not just them teaching, by all means, go crazy.
for sure.
In any case, if it's something that you can afford, if it's not something that you're going to have to, like, bend over backwards for, or that you'll have to find more ways to now take care of this new liability that you purchased, it's better if you have the means to pay for the liability than, or some type of income, some type of, residual income or passive income that can pay for the liability, rather than purchasing the liability and figuring out how to pay for it next. Like, that's backwards. You feel me? Uh, but since we've been doing this entrepreneurial journey, I have learned that it does not matter what someone's 9 to 5 is. If they are making, because you can make money in so many different ways. You feel me? You don't have to just be making money at your job. That could just be your passion. You might just love to teach, but you are also getting money through investments or whatever the case may be. Uh, Now, if it's the only thing that you got going, and you're spending bread like that, then you might want to come holler at us. We could figure out, join the Facebook group, figure out your spending. You know what I mean? Maybe there can be better ways for you to use the money that you're getting, so that it can grow into uh, something that can take care of you later. Because a Corvette, it gets you to and fro, but eventually it's gonna break, and you're not gonna make much money off of it. It's a liability. Um,
Reliability.
but yeah, these interest rates are definitely a hot topic. A lot of people have been talking about it. So take advantage. Take advantage of the fact that you will now be able to borrow money at a cheaper rate in all instances, right? Car loans are going to be cheaper now. Mortgages are going to be cheaper now. Personal loans are going to be cheaper. Even check your credit cards. Like, those rates might go down now. I
Even
think so.
though
Hmm.
even though the point is to not pay interest on those credit cards,
Yes,
please
yes.
please do not leave a balance on your credit cards. It's
But if you do
detrimental.
have a balance on your credit card, check your interest. I hear you. I know that, like, the goal is to not have a balance at all, but the reality is some people just have balances on their credit card. So call your credit card company and say, hey, look, Feds just cut interest rates. What are my new interest rate terms? Is there a way that I can lower my monthly interest rate? Is it possible? Or my interest rate on the credit card, is it possible for me to decrease that amount? I didn't mean to say monthly interest rate, but yeah, is there a way for me to decrease the interest rate on this credit card? Because as interest rates go down, all as Feds cut their interest rate, there are a lot of interest rates that follow, including your savings account interest rate. So watch out for those. You might have a savings account that has an interest rate of 5 point something percent, those high yield savings accounts. You might start to see those decrease. You might start to see those. You might start getting emails saying that, hey, due to federal rate cuts or whatever the case may be, your new high yield savings account interest rate has decreased by 0.25 or zero point 0.5 or 1 point. We saw the same exact thing in between the years of like 2018 and 2021. We were in a savings account that had like a 4 or 4.5, and then over the years we just kept seeing it go down and go down. But that's because Feds had cut interest rates, and all interest rates were going down, even the ones that are beneficial to you. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on, just keep an eye on your money. Know exactly where it's at, know exactly how it's growing. But yeah, all right.
Yep,
What you think, Cornell? I know we didn't tap into every single aspect of Fed rate cuts, but I feel like what we did discuss, people can use and utilize, and hopefully get off the sidelines and make some moves.
for sure. You know, in all climates, when it comes to finance, we got to be able to move forward. So let's make it happen.
Yes, sir. And as always, follow the Facebook group. Get involved. We are constantly talking about financial news, financial topics. Um, yeah. So looking forward to seeing more people in there. And as always, we love you. Thank you for listening. Appreciate y'all. Peace out.
Peace out.